Hello and welcome to GCS Today here on Channel 21, the program that brings you news and information from Gaston County Schools. I'm Todd Hagens. On today's episode, we talk with Dr. Jill Payne, the principal of Hawks Nest STEAM Academy. Recently, Hawks Nest received the North Carolina STEM School of Distinction Award, which is presented by the State Board of Education. Plus, we spend time with two Hawks Nest teachers who tell us about what it is like to be inside a classroom that emphasizes science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and the arts. Joining me on GCS Today is Dr. Jill Payne. She is the principal of Hawks Nest STEAM Academy, and we want to congratulate you, Dr. Payne, on your school being named a North Carolina STEM School of Distinction. Congratulations on that recognition.
Thank you very much.
What is it like to be the principal of a North Carolina STEM School of Distinction?
Todd, it's a very exciting opportunity. I'm honored to be able to lead such an amazing group of people. Our staff committed to 4 years ago to working toward achieving this goal. The STEM school and the STEM philosophy of learning is a problem-based learning approach, and our staff just committed to doing everything that it takes to make sure that we have the learning environment and that we're willing to work as learners to provide students a fabulous learning environment where they're engaged in critical thinking and problem solving. So I'm just very thrilled to be able to be a part of them and to lead us toward getting this recognition.
Now that certainly has a nice ring to it. Hawks Nest STEAM Academy, a North Carolina STEM School of Distinction. You like the way that sounds, right?
Yes, sir, I do. It's a good place to be because we've worked very hard. That's a hard achievement to get because there's different levels within that recognition, and you can get a prepared status or you can get a model status. And I'm proud of the work that our staff has done because we were the only school in North Carolina to get that model status as a STEM School of Distinction. So we're super excited about that.
And if I read correctly, this recognition program began in 2014, 2015, and if I counted correctly, Hawks Nest is one of only 16 schools in North Carolina to earn that model status, a model school status for STEM education. So it is a significant honor for Hawks Nest and for Gaston County Schools. Will you tell us a little bit about what it took to be a part of this process, the application process, and the steps that you had to take to, I guess, really prove that you are a STEM School of Distinction?
Yes, sir. We started this process, like I said, 4 years ago, looking at the rubric. That rubric changed, of course, along the process, so we had to reevaluate where we were to make sure we were on track. We used that to create the foundation for our school. So everything that we set up as a STEM school, we utilized that rubric to make sure that we were on track doing those things that needed to be done for STEM recognition and making sure that we had that quality of learning environment. In addition, we had to, 2 years ago, start creating our application. The application consisted of creating a website where we had to document every aspect of that rubric, all of the learning opportunities and experiences, as well as our corporate sponsor partnerships that we had, our STEAM advisory, our parent advisory, how we incorporated all of the components of STEAM learning, our STEM learning, how we incorporated that into our school, and we had to show evidence that that's what we were doing. Last year, we finalized that process, and we had to write a narrative, similar in statute to my dissertation, but we had to write a narrative where we went through and documented and outlined with great detail all of the accomplishments that our staff had experienced and all of those best teaching practices in STEM environments that we had implemented. Then we were selected as one of the top, I think they said there were 36 schools that applied, 36 schools that sent in their original application. And then 3 schools were chosen for a follow-up visit. And what that means is that we met at least the prepared status in our initial application. They gave us some feedback, and it just was we needed to go and provide more evidence in certain areas. And so we were able to do that. And doing that, then we had to do a during our COVID break after March, we had to do a virtual visit and present to the committee our findings and our evidence. And at that point, it was supposed to be a 24-hour turnaround, but after our presentation, we were so excited. Within 3 hours, we got a call and we're told that we were named a Model School STEM School of Distinction.
Again, congratulations on such an amazing statewide honor for Hawks Nest. Now, we have talked about STEM, but Hawks Nest is a STEAM school. So first tell us what STEM is, and then tell us what the difference is between STEM and STEAM.
So STEM is the integration of science, technology, engineering, art, or engineering and math. It's more the problem solving, the critical thinking, the collaboration, all of the learning environment that goes into place throughout your school day. STEAM, we are very fortunate because Gaston County Schools values the arts. And so they have funded an art program within our STEAM with an art emphasis. And so what we try to do is our arts program is made up of theater, chorus, our music class, our media, because they do a lot of graphic designs, engineering within media, our art program, all of that, and our technology program, all of that intertwined. They support the curriculum standards that our teachers are doing in the regular classroom. So there's an integration into the content that they're teaching, but they also give students a way to explore the different areas of arts to try to ignite a passion in our students. So our students get the opportunity to play learn how to play keyboards. They get to learn how to play drums. They get to explore in graphic design. They get to explore in creating robots and coding and all of those different things. All of that ties into the arts program at Hawks Nest. And our goal is to create that passion for kids so that they have an area that they want to explore even deeper.
Now, Hawks Nest has been open as a STEAM academy for only 5 years. So there must be a secret to your success. What is the secret to earning such a prestigious state designation in just 5 years?
I'd like to say that I have an amazing staff. I feel like our staff charted our course day one. We sat down and created our plan, and then we worked together as one. We realized and we identified from the very beginning that no one person could carry the weight. It had to be a team approach, and we all had to work toward one goal. But in addition, you can have an amazing staff, but you've got to get your parents and your families on board and members of our community on board. So we have worked very in depth with our community and our family to make sure that we're staying on the right path. The other thing is that we committed from the very beginning that as teachers, as administrator, we're learners. We're going into uncharted territory, and we're not going to say no. We're going to figure out how to allow students to take that ceiling off of their learning and explore beyond our thoughts of what they can do. And so I think staying true to the course, making sure that we do everything that we can do that ties back into our standards, back into our student achievement. But most importantly, one of our main goals was to make sure that our school was a place where students thrived, and that is that they're growing academically, but that they love coming to school. Because if they love coming to school and we can provide that environment, then we're going to be on track. So to circle back to the actual question, I think the big thing is we had to stay true to the course, and we had to involve everyone. It was a group effort. It was not one person. And we had to know where we were going. So I think setting that vision 5 years ago and saying in 5 years, we want to accomplish this, and actually doing it in 4, that's super exciting. So that, I think that's the secret, is just staying true to the course and everybody realizing they have a part in our success as a school.
And I think also you have created a foundation among elementary age children that serves them well as they progress on to middle school, and then once they will go on into high school, to have that STEM and STEAM foundation really is beneficial.
Absolutely. To watch our students accomplish the things that they can accomplish, the things they can do in technology, the ability to build a robot, take it apart, the ability to tie their learning into a piece of artwork and make the connections, the ability to, we give them lots of choice so students can use their creativity to present their learning. So they may do a song, they may write a song to show that they understand a concept. but just to be able to see all that they can do, and then also to help connect them, which has been one of the big factors that our STEM advisory, which is a group of business leaders in our community who have helped connect with our students to careers in the STEM industry. And so to see them be able to connect with something that they want to do as they get older, and to begin to help them think along those lines of what I need to do as a high school graduate, what am I going to have to do in middle school to get to that point, to be able to achieve that goal I want to, that has been very powerful as an administrator, to be able to sit and watch happen and unfold.
So what is it like for you to be the principal of Gaston County's only STEAM elementary magnet school? It has to be a really special opportunity for you.
Absolutely. I remember the day that I was presented with the message about becoming Hawks Nest principal, and what an amazing opportunity that was, and how excited I was, even though I knew that I didn't have all the answers. So one of the coolest parts of doing this job professionally is the growth that it gave to me, because we had to all learn together. I have learned so much through this process, but it helped us understand what our students go through, because we were in uncharted territory. So it's just like them going into a grade level with new learning and having to learn how to do things differently. So that has been very fulfilling as an administrator, but just to know that you are a part of creating something new, and the impact it's having on students' learning, our test scores continue to grow. That is very rewarding, but it's almost like it's just an honor, because there's so many good things that are going on here, and I'm so proud of the work that is being done, and so thankful for the opportunity to be able to be the principal at Hawks Nest.
And we can tell that you're proud of the great work that has taken place at Hawks Nest to reach the point of being a North Carolina STEM School of Distinction. Now, when you became the principal 5 years ago, the school opened in August of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
What was your top priority? What was your number one goal that you set being the principal of a new STEAM school in Gaston County?
We had three top goals, and I think the first goal, which the other two goals support, is that we established that we wanted to achieve the Model STEM School of Distinction status, because we felt like if that was a status that we achieved, we knew we were on the right track for students. In doing that, we wanted to make sure that our student achievement goal gains continue to increase, that we continue to gain as student achievement. So we really wanted to make sure that we were creating a fun learning opportunity for students, but at the same time that it was rigorous and that students were growing. But the second largest goal was we wanted to make sure that our school was a school where students thrived. And we identified that by making by academic growth, but that students didn't just like to come to school, but that they loved being here, because we know that when we create that type of culture, our staff enjoys coming to school, our students enjoy coming to school, and we accomplish so much more. So having this type of learning environment has been a very productive environment for students, because they're able to engage with other students at a different level, and the output is so much greater. So we're our main goal, again, was to be the Model STEM School of Distinction, and we're super proud that we accomplished that. But we feel like that happened because of the culture and the level of rigor and the dedication of all of our stakeholders.
And with being a model school for STEM for the state of North Carolina, you've accomplished that. What now is your vision for the next 5 years at Hawks Nest?
Well, we're working with the team from NCDPI on a national STEM school recognition, and they are actually planning to use our application to as an exemplar for that process. And then we are looking at the Blue Ribbon School. We would really like to look at that, where it is looking at all of our subgroups, all of our stakeholders, and the growth that they make. And so that is one of the next priorities we have. But most importantly, we want to continue to provide students opportunities to explore their passions, to connect with STEM careers that they're going to be involved in later in life, to help give them direction and make sure that we're teaching them to set goals and to problem solve them to achieve their goals. So I think as long as we keep that culture and that level of rigor with our instruction, the blue ribbon status will come soon.
And I must say, we would love to have another National Blue Ribbon School here in Gaston County. So I think you've set a very good goal there for the next 5 years.
Thank you very much. We're excited about what is to come.
Dr. Jill Payne is the principal at Hawks Nest STEAM Academy. The school has received a state designation as a model school for STEM and STEAM, and we want to congratulate you again on being chosen as a North Carolina STEM School of Distinction at Hawks Nest STEAM Academy, and we want to thank you for joining us today here on GCS Today.
Thank you very much.
You are watching GCS Today here on Channel 21. We will be right back.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Joining me on GCS Today, we have two teachers from Hawks Nest STEAM Academy. We have Suzanne Raxter, who teaches 5th grade, and Elizabeth Grant, who teaches 1st grade. Thank you for being with us here today on GCS Today.
Thank you for having us.
We're excited to be here.
Elizabeth, let's begin with you. What is it like to teach at a North Carolina STEM School of Distinction?
Well, I'll tell you, the biggest thing for me is that I'm proud. No 2 days at our school are ever the same. We work really hard to make sure that if you're walking through our building, you're seeing excitement and engagement in every classroom. Dr. Payne also works really hard to make sure that all of our teachers here have a buy-in. So our staff morale is very high, and each day we push each other to be better than we were yesterday. We love to provide our students choice through our clubs and advisory and Spark of Genius, where students get to pick something that is of interest to them to grow in that area. I also love that our school works so hard to incorporate the arts. We have a fantastic art team who works really hard to produce a full-on production that our students, families, and communities look forward to each year.
This is an award for STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But Hawks Nest sets itself apart, I guess you could say, in a way that the arts are also a part of the curriculum, and therefore Hawks Nest is a STEAM school. So let's go into your classroom. Take us there and show us what it is like to be inside of a 1st grade STEAM classroom.
Well, if you walk into my classroom, you're going to see a lot of singing and dancing, and I hope that you're seeing that students are having fun. Within that singing and dancing, you're seeing us tying in the content to that to make it engaging for our students. You're also going to see a lot of hands-on collaboration. You're going to see students working in groups, students incorporating their technology, and then you're going to see some problem-based learning where students are we're tying in that cross-curriculum, and students are using real-life world problems to solve, and you're going to see that engagement there. Above all else, I try to make sure that our students are having fun and that we do that by increasing the engagement. And one of the ways I do that is through classroom transformations, which helps us increase that rigor for them.
And really, it's something that you see the implementation of STEAM across the curriculum, and a blending and an infusing of those areas in really everything that you do.
Yes, so one of the ways that we do that is with that problem-based learning. We're able to kind of mesh a lot of our content areas together and incorporate those with that problem-based learning where we're pulling in the real-life world problems.
So Suzanne, how do you implement science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics across the curriculum? That is a lot. That seems like it could be a challenge. How does that happen at Hawk's Nest?
Well, as Elizabeth had mentioned, we do a lot of the problem-based learning, and I'll give you an example. As always, we all love Disney movies. And so one of the things that our fifth graders do is as these new Disney movies come out, to go along with their force of motion science standards, they design new rides to go with these movies. And they do it using Tinkercad and Merge Cubes. They have to do all the social media for it. They have to think of the sound and the environment that the kids are going to be going through and what the rider's going to feel as they ride it, just as if they were working for Disney. And they love it. They love including the community and inviting them in. And not only do we do it in our individual grade levels, but for example, as a STEAM teacher, I get a little bonus. Last year and every year, our fifth graders do a huge ecosystem PBL, but this year we got to incorporate first grade with it. And their section on the ecosystem problem-based learning was working with biomimicry, where we have developed helmets based on the shape of a turtle and how the shell protects the turtle. And so when our community was able to come in and see it, you saw first graders displaying and talking about what they did with biomimicry, as well as each of the fifth graders taking them through all the different ecosystems that they experience. And through each of those things, they have to incorporate forms of technology, forms of using their math. When they do a huge ski resort, they have to be able to figure out how they're going to run their restaurants, how much it's going to cost to come be at their ski resort. So it sounds difficult, but when you actually sit down and do the planning, it's a lot easier than you think. And the kids love it.
Now, you mentioned a ski resort. That is a process where you have the students simulating the planning, the strategy, and the implementation of what it would take to design a ski resort. I know that probably is challenging for students, but at the same time, it's probably very exciting.
Well, it's exciting because we present it where community leaders, mayors have asked them to take an old ski resort and to make it new again and to make it where they can build their tourism. And so the students had to work on social media. And so, of course, they're all into that because they love to do Twitter and Facebook. And so they were designing websites. But we actually, when the kids were evaluated on doing it, we invited restoration companies, we invited people who worked at restaurants and spas to come and see what they did to make it where this was a great tourist attraction. And so the kids were so excited to talk about what they did, and they actually designed their ski lifts or they designed their restaurants. And so a lot went into it. A lot of technology and a lot of engineering design. And our kids love doing the engineering design.
And I think it's also interesting that you give them an opportunity to think about what it would be like to develop a theme park, something like Disney, and to look really at all of the science and technology and the math and the engineering and the arts from really a creative perspective, that all of that goes into creating a place like a theme park. It's great that children at a young age are thinking about all that it takes to make that happen.
Well, and what's exciting is we're teaching these kids for jobs in the future that we don't even know what they are. Back when I was in school, I would have never imagined someone being able to do everything at work for work at home on their computer, because I didn't have that experience. And so we're teaching the kids of the future, yet we are not sure what their jobs are. But what we do know is that their jobs that they're most likely going to be able to obtain are going to be in some sort of STEAM field. And so by building that curiosity, by getting them to wonder and question and trying to solve these real world problems, it makes it where it grows and fosters through them all the way through their college careers.
And knowing that you are right now preparing students for the jobs of tomorrow, it's never too early to begin getting students to think about the concepts of STEM and STEAM, because knowing that those areas are so important, you've got to begin at the elementary school level, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, because this is where they're the most curious. This is where they're truly like a sponge, and they take in everything. And like, a lot of the kids love going to Carowinds because it's a local amusement place that we have here, but they didn't realize that there actually was an engineer who designed all those roller coasters, and that that's a real job, that it's not that you just go there and have fun, but they learned that there's safety features that go with it, and how to design the cars to keep the customer safe, but that they have an exhilarating experience going through that ride. And so when they realize these are actually job opportunities that they could have in the future, it's exciting. And when they realize all the materials and all the different industries that come through, like your steel industries and your wood and various different things that they use, as well as technology, to make all these roller coasters work, they get excited. And they want to do it themselves and build them themselves. And so when they're building all these prototypes, they have an excitement, and they've learned much more than I could have taught them by just reading a story or watching a short video clip about roller coasters.
Now, Elizabeth, as a STEAM teacher, what do you want most for your students?
I think that I want them to, like Suzanne said, be curious. I want them to wonder. I want them to be curious. I want them to find things that interest them. And I want to be a part of that process so that I can help guide them along the way, and then create those areas where they can continue that curiosity and continue that learning, so that in the future they have an idea about things that do interest them that can help them prepare for those jobs in the future.
And I think both of you are working now with elementary age children so that they are prepared for middle school, and then they're prepared for high school, college, and beyond. I think, Suzanne, that probably is an overall goal for a teacher like you.
It is, and it's exciting. I recently got a message from a student who is in 7th grade, and she has received the Jack Kent Cook Scholarship, and it is for high achieving 7th graders who inspire to go into the arts and the STEAM fields. And she received that scholarship, so she's going to be participating in summer programs, internships, and preparing herself. So they're not helping her just financially, but they are helping her live her dreams and be able to accomplish getting that college career. And so to me, as an educator, that is overwhelmingly exciting.
There are so many things, wonderful things going on at Hawk's Nest STEAM Academy, and we want to congratulate both of you for the role that you play in helping Hawk's Nest become a North Carolina STEM School of Distinction. It is something to be very proud of, and we appreciate what you have done, as well as your colleagues, what all of you have done at Hawk's Nest to bring this state recognition to Hawks Nest and also to Gaston County Schools. Suzanne Raxter and Elizabeth Grant, teachers at Hawks Nest STEAM Academy, thanks so much for joining me today here on GCS Today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for watching GCS Today here on Channel 21. Before we go, we would like to congratulate Highland School of Technology student Avery Davis. Her science project titled, "Do You Have the Heart to Taste? A Study of the Effects of Beta Blockers on Older Adults' Tasting Abilities," was selected as one of the top 300 science projects in the 2020 Broadcom Masters program. More than 3,400 students were involved in the national competition. And we would like to express our appreciation to two of our outstanding business partners for their generous support of our schools. Recently, Academy Sports donated equipment valued at $1,000 for use during physical education classes at Southwest Middle School. Additionally, Academy donated $2,500 in gift cards to support physical education programs at other schools. We also would like to recognize Office Depot for contributing more than $3,300 to Brookside Elementary School. The funds make it possible for the school to purchase supplies for students and teachers. Please stay tuned to Channel 21 for the latest news and information from Gaston County Schools. For GCS Today, I'm Todd Higgins. We look forward to seeing you next time.